Hey guys, I'm Jared, and today we're talking about what's new in board gaming as of March 18th, 2022. I'll be covering the latest news, announcements, most played games, hot new Kickstarters and crowdfunded games, and more related to board gaming for the past 2 weeks. At the end, I'll also be sharing what's going on behind the scenes with my YouTube channel, Meeple Mentor. So stick around, we've got a lot to cover. Leave me a like and comment on what kinds of updates that you want to hear more about. To make sure you don't miss my news updates, new video tutorials, and our new podcast episodes, be sure to subscribe on YouTube and your preferred streaming platform. Oak is a strategic board game for 1 to 4 players with a playtime of 90 minutes. Unlock special powers for your druid meeples by mixing worker placement and hand management. Fund it on GameFound until April 7th. Dino Dino, an overlapping tile-based game about building your own dinosaur farm, is on Kickstarter until April 9th. It has a playtime of 20 to 30 minutes and is for 2 to 4 players ages 8 and up. On Kickstarter until April 10th is Postcard Board Games Round 2. This campaign features 5 mini board games, from sliding puzzles to 3D dungeon crawls. They are specially designed to be mailed to your friends. In Tiwanaku, use tile placement and strategy that incorporates elements from Sudoku, Minesweeper, and Tectonic. Uncover the entire board. It has 3 play modes: solo, cooperative, and competitive, 1 to 4 players, and is for ages 14 and up and has a playtime of about an hour. It's funding on Kickstarter until March 30th. Fire in the Hole, the Plunderin' Pirate game, is part card game, part dexterity game, and centers around an impressive biodegradable pop-up ship. It is for ages 7 and up, has a playtime of 20 to 40 minutes, and is suited for 2 to 4 players. It's funding on Kickstarter until April 9th. Meanwhile at the Con is a fast-paced card drafting tableau building game to create the best booth and make cash at the convention. It's for 2 to 5 players with a 40-minute playtime and for ages 14 and up. It's funding on Kickstarter until April 7th. Also on Kickstarter until March 31st is Monster Pit, a co-op boss battler that features tableau building and dice drafting. With a playtime of an hour to an hour and a half, it's made for 1 to 5 players, ages 14 and up. Grow a humble hamlet into a bustling town in Hamlet the Village building game. For 1 to 4 players ages 10 and up, with a 60 to 90 minute playtime, this game features resource production, worker placement, and building. Blink's game system and new party expansion provides 9 games to make memories with friends and family, and 5 brand new party games to destroy them. Light up tiles are used to form and play the games, and it can be found funding on Kickstarter until March 24th. Also on Kickstarter is Illuminati, a first-of-its-kind cooperative survival word game. Draw letter tiles and use them to spell words before time runs out. Illuminati is for 1 to 5 players with a 40-minute playtime. It's for ages 7 and up, and it's funding until March 25th. Catapult Feud Ukraine Edition is on Kickstarter until April 1st. It's a Ukrainian language version of the familiar game Catapult Feud. It's for 2 players aged 7 and up and provides a playtime of 30 to 45 minutes. 1+ players get to assemble and upgrade hot rods, build tracks, and race across 4 different terrains in the first print and play of 2022 Hot Rod Roll and Write Revolution game. It's on Kickstarter until March 31st. Boss Dog the Card Game with Canine Criminals, Chaos, and Cannoli is a card drawing game that incorporates matching and collection with cards that enable you to stop others' plays. It's designed for ages 7 to 120, provides a 20-minute playtime, and allows for 2 to 6 players. Find it funding on Kickstarter until April 14th. Find a cooperative and narrative adventure game in Malia Lands of Legends. For 1 to 5 players aged 14 and up, it incorporates dice and miniatures. It's on Kickstarter until March 31st. Also on Kickstarter until April 14th is the Bad Karmas and the Curse of the Zodiac, a 1 to 4 player cooperative tactical boss battle board game against intelligent enemies powered by the Tubaru system. Unition, an asymmetric battle royale deck builder with 2 paths to victory, allows for 2 to 5 players ages 12 and up and a playtime of 90 to 120 minutes. It's on Kickstarter until April 14th. UND1C1 is the ultimate soccer board game. Be the coach, choose the strategy, and bring your team to victory. It's for 2 players, ages 11 and up, and provides a playtime of 45 to 60 minutes. Find it on Kickstarter until April 14th. Pathways, the skillful dexterity game, is described as an easy-to-learn flicking game played on an elegant bamboo board with custom discs. It's made for 2 players of ages 14 and up and provides a playtime of 5 to 30 minutes. It's on Kickstarter until April 13th. 3 games that incorporate varying elements of tile placement, score tracking, and card drawing are on Kickstarter, and 1 campaign until April 7th. Habitats, 9 Lives, and Basket Boss provide a playtime of 40 minutes. Habitats and Basket Boss allowing for 2 to 5 players, while 9 Lives allows for 3 to 4. A GM-less collaborative horror role-playing game and a coloring book about adults returning to their creepy old boarding school, Deimos Academy, is on Kickstarter until April 14th. Tamashii Chronicle of Ascend is a cyberpunk adventure board game with a post-apocalyptic vibe. It incorporates miniatures and scenarios that are fully replayable. It's for 1 to 4 players ages 16 and up and has a playtime of 90 minutes and is on GameFound until April 4th. Ryozin is a 2 to 4 player worker placement game set in a fantasy world featuring a layered rotating board and multiple resources. It is for 2 to 4 players ages 14 and up and provides a playtime of 45 to 90 minutes. It's on Kickstarter until April 8th. Ultima Hero, a strategic card game, is a fun strategic card game with push your luck game mechanics for 2 to 6 players, single and team play, and 2 rule levels of game difficulty. It's on Kickstarter until April 6th. Micro Dojo Loyalty and Deceit is an expansion for the hit pocket game Micro Dojo. It features new advancement tracks, an extended 9-point game, new objectives, and more. It's on Kickstarter until April 6th. Game Pathways is a new non-profit organization formed by tabletop industry professionals for the purpose of expanding diversity and minority representation in game publishing. Its 2022 learning program will be offered to high school students in the Los Angeles area on October 7th to 8th and held on the UCLA campus. Throughout 2021, there was a warning of empty shelves in stores for the holidays and a bleak season as a result. For the most part, those warnings turned out to be overblown because through planning, hard work, and a largely understanding consumer base, there was enough inventory to allow big increases in holiday sales over 2020, the first pandemic year, and also over 2019, a solid normal year for sales. Wise Wizard Games has issued their first price increase on their products since their company began in 2013. This price increase will impact products across their lines, including several Star Realms items. The new pricing will take effect on April 15th, 2022. Lucky Duck Games has hired Carly Reinhard as their brand new online community coordinator. In her new role, she will help support and guide Lucky Duck's creator community, as well as provide some technical support. Her hiring is also part of a larger initiative by Lucky Duck to bolster their support for content creators. Wise Wizard Games has hired Derek Funkhauser as their new director of game development. In his new role, Funkhauser will be a part of their leadership team and will report directly to Doherty. He will also helm the company's game development and production process and help out with community building. POW Interactive Holdings Corporation, which recently closed a funding round of $20 million, has acquired Jasco Games and plans to expand sales of its games and pursue additional acquisitions. Former Z-Man Games and Fantasy Flight veterans revealed Mooncrab Games and released a playable demo of their debut release, co-op board game Leviathan Wilds. It has a playtime of 45 minutes and allows 2 to 4 players. The demo will be regularly updated in the lead-up to the campaign's launch. This War of Mine, the board game creators have donated all revenue and will donate all revenue from remaining Kickstarter copies to support Ukraine. Money from core games and expansions were pledged to the Ukrainian Red Cross and Rakety Oncological Foundation. Cephalofair Games hired BJ Hensley as their new director of art and graphic design. In her new role, Hensley will be managing art and design workflows with their independent contractors during Cephalofair's next phase of projects under development. The Swedish corporation Embracer Group AB has completed its acquisition of both Dark Horse Media and the Asmodee Group. The purchase of Dark Horse gives Embracer a stable of over 300 intellectual properties that can be developed for games and other media. Flat River Group acquired Luma Imports and Synapsis Games, publisher of Coatl, the card game, among others. Flat River Group also serves the hobby trade through its Impressions game distribution unit. Luma Imports provides North American distribution and marketing for Horrible Guild, Bombyx Studios, Sit Down Games, Holy Grail Games, and others. Asmodee USA announced that 6 companies have added them as an English distributor for various game titles and products. These companies include Modifius Entertainment, Parabellum Games, Spin Master, Skytear Games, Transatlantic Games, and Road to Infamy. War of the Ring creators are prepped to sell the last ever copies of Battle of the Five Armies Collector's Edition in aid of Ukraine. The final 9 copies of spruced up The Hobbit board game will cost $1,200 each. Osprey Games announced Village Rails, a new railroad game for release into retail on August 18th, 2022. Players crisscross the fields of England with railway lines in an effort to connect villages together using mini cards, tiles, and tokens. This game is for 2 to 4 players ages 14 and up and plays in 45 minutes. Asmodee will release Caverna, Cave vs. Cave, The Big Box, a new board game box set from Lookout Games, into retail on April 1st. The Big Box features the base game as well as the first expansion, Iron Age. R&R Games has announced 4 new titles, including a Euro-style strategy game, 2 party games, and a kids game, all scheduled to release on May 15th. In Dom Perrier, players compete to dominate production of the new sparkling wine using worker placement. The game is intended for 2 to 4 players ages 13 and up and takes about an hour to play. Ferret Out is a party game where the players do not know even their own secret identity. This game is for 3 to 7 players ages 12 and up and takes about half an hour to play. You Must Be an Idiot turns trivia games around by randomly assigning some players the role of idiot during each round. It supports 3 or more players and is recommended for ages 10 and up. Games take about 45 minutes to play. Bug Off offers push your luck play for kids and families. Players try to put together the best possible collection of bugs by gathering cards and successfully holding on to them. For 2 to 5 players ages 8 and up, games take about half an hour. Bedseer Games will release Cat in the Box Deluxe Edition, a second edition of a trick-taking game, into retail in August. Using tokens in this game based on the concepts of quantum mechanics, players calculate how many tricks they need to win and place a bid on that number of tricks. It is for 2 to 5 players ages 13 and up and plays in 20 to 40 minutes. Renegade Game Studios announced Transformers deck building game A Rising Darkness, a new standalone expansion for release into retail in the second quarter. It adds new cards and new modes of play to the core game. This game is for 1 to 5 players ages 14 and up and plays in 45 to 90 minutes. Funko Games announced Rear Window, a new board game based on Alfred Hitchcock's classic thriller for release in the summer of 2022. In the board game, players follow along the general essence of the movie by observing strange clues and patterns of things going on in the apartments across the courtyard. Rear Window is for 3 to 5 players ages 13 and up. The Op revealed Smash Up Disney Edition for release into retail in summer 2022. This standalone game comes with decks for 8 different Disney movie factions, including Frozen, Big Hero 6, Wreck-It Ralph, The Lion King, Mulan, Aladdin, The Nightmare Before Christmas, and Beauty and the Beast. This game is for 2 to 4 players ages 14 and up and plays in 45 minutes. Ravensburger announced Star Wars Villainous Power of the Dark Side, a new villainous board game for release in August 2022. The game consists of players using their cards and villains' ability to achieve their unique win condition. This game is for 2 to 4 players ages 10 and up and plays in 50 minutes. an upcoming board game based on the Avatar: The Last Airbender animated series is coming, and by drawing cards, players will need to gather allies from across the world of Avatar in order to take down Ozai once and for all. Avatar: The Last Airbender Fire Nation Rising is set to be released sometime this summer and allows 1 to 5 players. Legend Story Studio will release Flesh and Blood Classic Battles Rhinar vs. Dorinthia, a new starter set, into retail on May 27th. It includes 2 40-card decks which are ready to play out of the box. Renegade Game Studios will reprint Crusaders Thy Will Be Done, a Euro-style board game, for release into retail in Q3. The goal of the game is to acquire knights, erect buildings, and go on crusades in an effort to spread the influence of your order. It is for 2 to 4 players ages 14 and up and plays in 30 minutes. Portal Games announced Brazil Imperial, a Euro-X board game by Meeple BR, for release into North American markets in Q3. This game is played on a modular map which can be set up for 8 different scenarios. Brazil Imperial is for 1 to 4 players ages 14 and up and plays in 100 minutes. Catan Studios teased Dawn of Humankind, a new Catan board game, for release this year. This new title sends Catan back to prehistoric times, and players will explore the human family tree, starting from its roots in Africa and then expanding throughout the world. My Little Pony: Adventures in Equestria is an upcoming game for 1 to 4 players that features a starting deck, which they'll be able to gradually improve by acquiring more cards. This deck builder is set to be released in Q2. WizKids unveiled Marvel Remix, a new card game by Bruce Glasgow, for release into retail in July. It's a deck building game where players build a team of heroes and allies to take on infamous villains. This game is for 2 to 6 players ages 12 and up and plays in 20 minutes. Stoneblade Entertainment is planning a hobby trade release for its new hybrid deck game Soulforge Fusion in Q2. Soulforge Fusion is a new tabletop take on the original digital Soulforge game. Stoneblade plans to release booster products roughly every 4 months. Renegade Game Studios announced Shadow of the Serpent, a new expansion for G.I. Joe deck building game, which will release into retail in June 2022. The new expansion adds 2 missions to the core game and supports 1 to 4 players ages 13 and up and plays in 30 to 70 minutes. For news regarding the Meeple Mentor YouTube channel, several more unboxing videos were released from games I picked up at TantrumCon. You'll find Shobu, Winter Kingdom, and The Night Cage. Additionally, I received the Kickstarter for Cellulose from Genius Games and unboxed that as well. I'm currently working on a tutorial script for Winter Kingdom by Queen Games. Look for that in the coming weeks. The latest Jay's Takeaways video was on the ever-popular Scythe from Stonemaier Games. He gives a good summary of it and recommendation if you're interested in it. The most recent tutorial video that I released on the channel was for Richard Garfield's The Hunger, a vampire deck building adventure. Make sure to check it out. It's a very fun game. The last podcast episode featured my new co-host, Stephen Murphy. We shared about our experience attending TantrumCon and memorable moments and games we've played. In the next episode, we will try to start designing a board game. Yep, make sure you listen in. We'll cover various game mechanisms and start a new bit where we play a poorly rated board game and give our impressions. Thanks for tuning in to today's news update. I appreciate your support. And remember, teach when you can, but always be learning. See you next time.